Muslims say that the Bible has been corrupted. What's the evidence for that?
One important evidence is this: when the Prophet Jesus, peace be upon him, when he was alive, no one wrote down what he was saying and no one memorized what he was saying. But after he was uplifted by Allah, did not die, right? It's a different question we can have about crucifixion or not. So about 33 years after he left the world, then the gospel writers, they started to write the gospels: Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, in that order. All right. Imagine 30 years and John was written after 60 years. Simple experiment. I teach a class for children. Suppose I bring back the children after 50 years. Okay, let's say 30 years. Let's give them 30 years, right? And just imagine no one took any notes what I was saying. Nobody memorized it. Nobody recorded it. If I bring them back after 30 years, and if I tell them, okay, all of you, 30 of you, write down for me what I mentioned 30 years ago. Would they be able to, word for word, in sequence? Not possible, right? So that's one indication that the current gospels that we have, Jesus, peace be upon him, he never saw those gospels. And like right now, we only have like some manuscripts of those original autographs. But the manuscripts that we have, they are like in small bits and pieces. And there are so many variations inside it. And those variations, nobody knows what is the right and the correct word in this passage, in this verse, in this chapter. Since there are no memorizers of the Bible, there are no original manuscripts of the Bible. So when the Bible scholars, when they come together to produce a new version of the Bible, they always have to use the human fallible mind. So one experiment that I can give quickly is just for people to understand this. Suppose if they're all Bible scholars sitting over here, and then on this table, I bring in about 6,000 small bits and pieces of the Bible. Our job is to take all of them and then make a new version of the Bible. Here is the dilemma. If they pick Mark chapter 1 verse number 1, it's not only one Mark chapter 1 verse number 1 sitting up there. There are 4 of them sitting on the table and all of them would be different. Then what would you do? There are no memorizers of the Bible. You don't have the original. Jesus, peace be upon him, he's gone. Original disciples are gone. You don't have the original. So what they do is, all of these, let's say 21 scholars, if they differ of the 4 different variations, versions of John 1:1, which one to pick? If they have a dispute, they take the majority vote. Can you imagine? Good old democracy. They take the majority vote, and that one verse that the majority agrees, it goes into the new version of the Bible. And they do that exactly the same from all the way from Matthew all the way to Revelation. Majority vote. And then they put the label of the Holy Bible coming from the original translation scriptures, and people, when they buy from Amazon,